electric.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are again. It's 6:30 on Monday morning. We are off on our holidays to Yorkshire. It's a bit of a strange one, this, because we're going further than we did the other week when we went up to Humber side, but we're actually taking the same route. When I looked at our routes that we needed to get over into Yorkshire, it was either going to be the A47 across to Peterborough, then up the A1, and then across from there. Or we could have gone A47, A17, cut across the A52 to Grantham, joined the A1 slightly higher up, and gone that route as well. Or the way that we actually prefer is the rural route. So come across on the A17 to Boston, charging up here at this Osprey charger. Decided to go here, not the Instavolt one, to try the charger and see where it is. It's next to a Starbucks. It's right next to our mini garage. So hi, Lister's Mini, thank you. I think it's a Marston's pub, the Chain Bridge. That's where we're actually stopping to charge. So again, I'll do a video update of our journey to share with you what we're doing. There's no great shock and surprise. We're not doing thousands of miles in the Mini, and we're not risking running out of charge, hopefully. As you know, with the last video, it wasn't as smooth and easy as I would have liked. There were a few issues, a couple of chargers that didn't work, and I got the calculations wrong and I had to wait for a charge from a Nero. So a few bits and pieces, but it didn't bother me because I had time. So this time we've left early. We're going to go and visit some friends up in Yorkshire before we actually get to the holiday cottage as well. But we've headed straight for Boston. So it was 86 miles to get here. Well, 85 we've done. It took us an hour and 49 minutes so far. Average speed, including with the car sat here for a couple of minutes, is 48 miles an hour. We were doing 49 to 50 miles an hour again, averaging, and it's now averaging 4 miles per kilowatt hour. Got a bit of a shock this morning when I went out to the car. There was ice on it, so yeah, I had to precondition the car. The first day in weeks and weeks that it's been that cold in the morning to actually have ice. So lo and behold, it would be the day that we want some good efficiency coming across to Boston. So in the last video I talked about when I was at Barton on Humber, and I'd got the efficiency wrong and the range wrong, and I didn't quite have enough to get to Boston. So the interesting thing about this trip is that we're going back exactly to that same charging location. We're heading for the Lidl at Barton on Humber. One, because it was a free charge, but two, the Lidl itself is a nice place to stop, and it's a place for us to stop at a time where it'll be a proper breakfast. We can walk cracker, we can be relaxed, and the contingency is if we don't get enough charge there or something goes wrong with that pod point, then we can go across the Humber Bridge into Hull, and there's a couple of Instavolts there. So that's our contingency. So I'm thinking it's something worth sharing and worth talking about. I said in a video quite a while ago that although charging's a bit of a faff and there's more planning and there's all these extra things you have to do, and it is a faff. There's more to it than filling up with a petrol station. One of the things that we forget is we're just used to petrol stations, and we're used to where they are and how to do it. It's all new with charging. So even me, with 3 years into EVs, I don't know where the chargers are over in Lincolnshire and Yorkshire. It's all a new experience. But by actually coming back on this same route that we went on last week, it feels different already, and I was expecting it to feel different because it's more comfortable. You've only just done the range, you're used to the range, you know where the chargers are, you've got contingency. So it all feels so much smoother and so much more relaxed when you know what you're doing and where you're going. It's like I haven't really calculated how long we're going to sit here and wait for the charge, and yet from all those charges we did the other week, we know that it goes really, really fast. 10-15 minutes you get a lot of charge in this Mini because it's a small battery. It's only 50 kilowatt charging, but it goes really quick. So we arrived here with 25-26% of battery, and it's now at 40% already, and literally I've just got out, plugged the car in, tapped my Juice network card, because that's another reason why I like coming to Ospreys. Sorry, the sun is right here, isn't it? It's so bright this early in the morning, so low. So anyway, the Juice network card from Octopus Energy, so it's really nice just to tap on the Osprey charger, and all the billing goes through to my home energy account. which I'm in credit with. So it's brilliant. It feels like we're getting free charging again. So very, very happy with that. Anyway, so I know going up to Barton on Humber from here is 65 miles because that's what I remember. I only had 58 miles of range and I had to do 65 and all of that sort of rubbish. So I need at least 20 miles contingency to go across the Humber Bridge and drive around Hull to find these Instavols. It's probably not 20 miles. I'll change the sat nav in a minute and double check it, but I'm guessing 65 plus 25. I need 85 miles to get to either the pod point or the Instavolt chargers on the other side of the Humber, and then basically that's the last charge until we get to the holiday destination. This is a bit of a strange video, I suppose, because although I'm doing more miles and we're going a lot further and we're going to drive around a lot more when we're there and the same long distance coming back, you'd think it'd then make it more complicated and more awkward. But it's actually not. That last trip we did to Humber was more awkward because we didn't have a charger at the destination. The field that we were doing the dog show at was obviously no electricity, so it was more awkward to go and have to go out and venture and find a charge. Where we're going, there's a house. It has a 3-pin socket. I'm just thinking, did I actually put the charging cable in the car? You know, that's the one thing I didn't check whether it's in there. No, of course it is. Of course it's in there. It's in there with a contingency extension lead as well. But we're going to a house. It's got a 3-pin socket. We can charge overnight, so we're not worried about charging. The car will be at 100% when we set off every time. It is just easier when you've got a destination charger, so you don't have to worry so much about the rapids. So yeah, I think this is going to be an easier trip because we're more familiar, more comfortable with where we're going. It's going to be easier because we've got the destination charger. And I hope that proves to be the case. But again, that's what I'm sharing. I'm sharing the plan. I'm sharing what we're doing on the way, and whatever happens, happens. And that's the information that I'll share, good or bad. It's interesting in the comments from that last video I did going up to Humber that some people were thinking, oh, that's why I'm not going to buy an electric car, all that faff. And you think, if only people could see beyond that, because that's how it seems. It looks more complicated than a faff when you haven't got an electric car. Once you've got one and you embrace it and you start to get used to charging and your planning, it becomes second nature, and it's something that should not put you off. And I guess by sharing these experiences in the Mini Electric, which has only got a 28 kilowatt hour battery, usable 28.9, something like that, if we can do these sort of journeys easily in this car, then just buy a car with a bigger range and you can do it a lot more easily. For us, no, we're not prepared to compromise with the fun and enjoyment of the car. This Mini is brilliant, and for these few occasions that we have to charge, we'll suffer this inconvenience and the huge stress of working out whether we'll make it or not. Anyway, there's enough. I need to check the car, go for a walk, stretch my legs, see what time Starbucks opens and whether we can have a coffee.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Oh, right.
Walk
no,
first.
It's a walk first. We'll be off by then. And I'll continue to do the video as we progress and let you know what's going on. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Catch you on the next part of this video. Bye for now. Well, second leg of the journey. We're back at Barton on Humber at the Lidl, and it's free again. Yes. Amazing how this journey is just so different. It's sunnier, it feels brighter. We've lost all the traffic coming through the Wolds. They stuck to the main roads. It's been a really enjoyable drive. And because we charged more at Boston, and I didn't get any miscalculations, we arrived here with 48%. And plenty of contingency to go across the Humber Bridge into Hull and charge at the Instavolts if this wasn't working. But yeah, we're on a pod point at Lidl. It's free as well. I know that feels like I'm overemphasizing that it's free. It really doesn't matter whether we're being charged for it or not. I'll be very happy. But perfect location. So yeah, we've been on the road a long time. It is now 4 hours. We left it just after, I think, 4:35, 4:37. It's now 8:32, so just under 4 hours. And we did charge, I guess, for nearly half an hour at Boston. It just didn't seem like it because we popped out and walked over to the Tesco's and had a wee stop for Cracker and ourselves. and it didn't feel like a long stop. In a petrol car, we would have probably carried on driving now. We wouldn't have stopped at Boston, we wouldn't have stopped here, we'd have carried on across the Humber Bridge. But when you've got an electric car, you suddenly realise that it's more sensible to stop. It's actually nicer to have stopped 80, 85 miles in and stretch your legs so you're not aching. There's no need to just drive it in one go. It's only because you could, we were being lazy before. So I think actually electric cars, rather than, oh, I don't want to charge and I don't want to stop, it's actually teaching you better practice, better driving. You're more fresh. It doesn't feel like I've been on the road 4 hours. It really doesn't. Just feels like... You think the same, Susan? Mm. Susan's turn to take over the driving next. But anyway, really successful. 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. Another interesting observation. Last time that we were here and we were driving back to Boston and back to home, we got 4.5, 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour. And 4.1 coming up. Now, is that because there was a frost this morning? There was ice on the car? Or are we heading north? Are we going up? Whatever it is, yeah. More education of the Mini, more education about how far we can go. And this was a breeze, an absolute breeze. Fingers crossed, it carries on going like this. That the last video I did was a little bit more negative. This one is just wonderful. It's so easy, so relaxing, so comfortable. I mean, who needs a longer range EV when you can do this easily and this comfortably? Anyway, gotta go into Lidl and get breakfast.
Yeah, we're all shopping.
Yeah, need a cup of coffee. Anyway, take care. Next stop, somewhere in Yorkshire. I'm not quite sure where it is, but I'll give you an update as soon as we get there. I don't think I've missed anything else. No, we're already at 59%, so it's gone up 10% already. So we're going to have to hurry up and get back to the car, otherwise I'll be blocking the charger, and we can't do that. Thanks again. See you in a bit. Well, that was a good job. We hurried up, rushing round like doing a supermarket dash in Lidl, grabbing our breakfast and a few essential supplies, some bottles of beer and a bottle of wine for our holiday. We're at 98% already. It's that fast. Literally, we had to hurry to get back here, so I'm not embarrassed that somebody else turned up and we want to move on, but nobody here at all, so I'll sit here and have a coffee. And 99%, I mean, this is crazy. I'll literally have to unplug in a moment. This is terrible. Anyway, fantastic stop, great journey. Charging is so much easier coming north. It was going south that was always the problem, wasn't it?
And what do you do while you're waiting for a charge? Me, I check on my solar back at home. So it's across the Humber Bridge, and next stop, a little village just outside York.
Oh, this is awesome.
Well, this is looking like a bit of alright. Missed Yorkshire. I haven't been here for quite a while. And that's the little place that we found that we're staying near, Pateley Bridge. Anyway, 225, 230 miles travelling to get up here. Spent £10.61, I think, on an Osprey charger. 50 miles still left on the car, so 280 miles for a tenner. Very, very happy with that. But did Susan choose well? That's the question. Did she choose where we can plug in? Well, there she is. There's Myrtle Mini charging away on a 3-pin socket. Sadly, because of this little stone wall, I couldn't get close enough, so I couldn't plug the charger in straight away, so I've had to use an extension lead. Good job I brought one with us.
And with Norfolk and Lincolnshire being so flat, it was a welcome break and lots of fun to descend some of these 1 in 5 hills and take in the scenery. Really enjoyed the Mini Electric on the hills.
So that's the first leg of our journey home completed. 100 miles comfortably with 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour, just under 50 miles an hour average. Been mostly on the A1. There were some short hilly roads from Yorkshire getting out of the valleys and hills that we're in, and then straight onto the A1 and straight down to Grantham. So we're going to be more services on an electric highway charger. I've never used one of these on a major trunk road before. Normally I would avoid these because they might be busy. You know, I suppose that's some of my anxiety, wanting to go early and wanting to arrive at chargers where no one else is, and there's no one here. It's been a revelation, really. Okay, it's early in the morning, we're only 8:30ish now, but all the chargers have been going fast. They're visible from the A1. There's been lots of them and they've all been empty. Looking at the Instavolt map on the way down, there were a couple that had one car charging, but there's just so many charging options. I really was quite impressed. I've been the passenger on the way down, Susan's done the driving, so I've been looking at the map, judging the miles per kilowatt hour, looking at everything, making sure that we're all fine, and it's been extremely comfortable. It's been quite surprising that we've stretched this leg, where last time we did an 85-86 mile first leg. This time we decided to do, well, I thought it was going to be 100-105, but it's just 100 miles is what we've done. And according to a better route planner, we'd get here with 21%, and we arrived with 26%, I think. So we had more than a better route planner was planning. And I worked out last night when I looked at the journey that we could get here comfortably with 8, 9, 10% battery left, averaging 3.8 to 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So that was our target. So the idea driving is, so long as we're above 4 miles per kilowatt hour, we're going to have lots spare. So, you know, you're not going to be apprehensive about how quick you drive or anything like that. It's just been normal. Hopefully, Susan, was that just a normal drive for you? You didn't feel like you were milking it or had to worry about range?
Fine.
So again, yeah, we're just keeping up the traffic, driving at 65 when we wanted to, 55 when it started to slow down. This return leg home, we're actually only going to charge once. This is the only charge we're going to do. And that seems quite incredible, that the route we took last time was an extra 20 miles and we charged twice but arrived with lots of contingency. So it's really nice to mix it up and do it differently, where on the way up to Yorkshire I added lots and lots of contingency because I didn't know where the chargers were and you're a little bit more apprehensive. But on the way back, now that we're going to get, I wouldn't say fully charged, but close to fully charged here on this GridServe charger, we know where all the chargers are on the way home. So we know where King's Lynn is, we know where Necton is, we know where the Derham Osprey is, and then even the GridServe at Norwich if we ran short. So there's so many options, you just really aren't anxious at all. So I think that's the point I want to get across on this trip. I'm doing it differently on the way up. I'm not sure where the chargers are, so we're adding lots of contingency and taking our time. On the way back, we're a lot more confident and pushing the car more, not leaving as much contingency. But we even looked here that if we couldn't see whether this charger was busy or arrived here and it was busy, then 12 miles down the road is Colsterworth, and that's got 3 or 4 new Instavolt chargers at it. So we've got plenty of range and mileage for that as well. So this has been a bit of a revelation, really, doing what I wouldn't normally do. I would normally go on the slower, longer, more scenic route. I wouldn't normally go on the motorways and just dual carriageway all the way down. And it's been really easy, and the abundance of chargers has surprised me. But the other thing that surprised me was the lack of petrol station chargers. We were passing BP and Shell garage after BP and Shell garage, and none of them had a charger. What poor planning and poor thought that is from the petrol companies, that they haven't got applications in and got chargers in there. Because, you know, electric car turns up, it's going to charge for 20, 30, 40 minutes. You've got a captive audience, you can sell them a coffee, you can sell them food, and that's what they like doing at those places. So they are really, really behind the curve and need to get electric car chargers in their forecourts if they want to keep up, if they want to build a network where people are going to use them. And I guess that's what's to come. At the moment, we've just got Instavolts, mostly is what I saw. I guess because I've got all the other networks turned off, but there's lots of these new networks available to charge your car. but we've still got all the BPs and all the Shells and all the petrol stations to put chargers in at some point to have a greater abundance of chargers. So it really is encouraging to see how easy it is to travel across the country doing 100 miles in the Mini Electric that easily and that comfortably. And we're going to have done 205, 210 miles, something like that, by the time we get back to Norwich. And we'll have only charged once. So the Mini doing 200 miles is nothing at all. It's really, really easy. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Everything is going well. Just see what the car's up to. We've literally only just poured a coffee, let Cracker out to have a wee, and we're already at 54%. The next thing I'm going to do is set the maps up on my phone, see how many miles we've got to go to get home, and make sure we've got enough mileage on the car before I set sat nav. Because again, this Mini Electric is a pain in the backside. That it currently says 58 miles of range and 54% battery, but if I put sat nav in, it'll probably drop it down more, so it's harder to judge have we got enough range to actually get home. So I'll charge the car up without sat-nav on, make sure we've got enough range, and then we'll set sat-nav afterwards. Right, anyway, I'll update you when we get home. Thanks for watching. Just hopefully one more update when we actually get home of how it went. But really easy journey. Thoroughly enjoyed Yorkshire. Loved the hills. Electric cars on hills, 1 in 5 hill. It was so easy to fly up the hill and have complete control on regen coming down. These cars, electric cars, are meant for hills. It just makes the job so much easier. So all this driving around mountainous areas and people worrying about range, etc., we didn't really notice a problem. Range went down as we went up, and it went up again as we went down. It seemed to even out quite well. The Mini performed brilliantly in Yorkshire. Anyway, take care. Update you again when we get back. Bye for now.
Gonna be more all the way back home. That's 111 miles, 2.5 hours. I got fed up waiting and charging at 93%, so I basically said, sod it, let's go, we can make it ish, and if we don't, we'll charge along the way. So let's just see how we go. But as always, with the sat-nav set, you got a game to play. Will you make it or won't you? Because the Mini only says we've got 78 miles of range. Obviously a bunch of rubbish. We'll make it. Miles per kilowatt hour goes up to 4.6 on the way, and we've only got 36 miles to go. And the range on the Mini has been slowly adjusting to a more reasonable level, so with 43% of battery left, 49 miles of range indicated, we've only got 36 miles to go, so a lot more comfort, put a foot down. And I forgot to take the important picture showing how many miles of range we had left on the Mini, but it was about 10 to 12% of battery, so maybe up to 15 miles, 208 miles travelled, 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour, a nice efficient drive back with warmer weather. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you've learned something from this if you're thinking about going electric. That's the whole point of me sharing these videos. Even with the 28 kilowatt hour battery and the smaller range of this Mini, travelling 220 miles is really no big deal. It's just one small charge, and it seems small. It doesn't seem like you're stopping for very long, even though it is 20-25 minutes or so. But that's the crazy thing, isn't it? If I had the Kona Electric with 300 miles of range, would we have done that trip without stopping? Same for an ICE car. If we had a petrol or diesel, you probably would do that 208 miles without stopping. But do you know, we're quite happy stopping. It really makes the journey more comfortable. Thank you again for watching. Hope you found something there of use, and more videos to come soon, so please subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click like as well. Not sure what the next video will be, whether it will be an update on my ultimate home storage battery, because we've got that working a lot better now, or whether it will be the end of May energy update video. Anyway, I'll do one of them shortly, and hope you're there to see it. Take care, see you again soon. Bye for now.